Okay, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can create a fly-through using Google Earth Studio. It's essentially a Google Earth program that allows you to have a higher quality of detail in how you path the fly-through you're using. So this can be used for introing projects, flying into the site, doing a whole bunch of interesting graphical displays. Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. What you need to do is you need to have a Google Earth Studio account. You click try Earth Studio, you have to sign up, you need to get approval. It takes about a day or two for you to get approved. Yeah. Once you have it, you can enter this page here and you can click Start Blank Project, Fly Through, let's give it a name, and then yeah, you've got your dimensions of your video, so 1080p. You can change the frame rate. I'm going to keep it at 30 seconds, and you've got 450 frames, which equals about 15 seconds of video. Yeah, so you can just hit start. So the way this works is you've got your orbiting, and you've got keyframes which sort of track exactly where the camera is in that specific point in the viewport, and you can set basically those viewport parameters as keyframes, and then you'll have a path that gradually flies through from frame to frame that you set. So what we can do is we can find our point that we want to start at. Let's say here. That looks pretty good. And that will be our starting keyframe. So we can click this button and it'll give us all of these keyframes that we need. And then we can scroll a bit forward into the video and we can orbit around using the middle mouse button. And we can find a point that we want to sort of reach with our camera for our next keyframe. I sort of want to have this view of the shrine, and then I can fly through all the way down Swanston Street quite easily. So then once I've got that view angle in the place I want it, I just hit keyframe all attributes, and we can go back to the start and we can watch that transition. So you can see we're flying down and we end up at this point here. Now what we can do is we can just pause that video and we can sort of scroll all the way through. Oh, we ended up in Tasmania there. I just set myself back here and then set myself back here. I might just pan myself all the way through to the end of the street here. Sort of pan down, and then we'll be able to set our next keyframe. So this is where we're going to finish at. Set the keyframe there. What we really want to do is not have our camera be sort of looking this way. We want to have the camera tilted down until we get to about here, and then we want the camera to sort of tilt around quite quickly. So what we might do is add a new set of keyframes and adjust the camera tilt to 0 degrees. Keep the pan the same, and what we'll have is this will pan to the right angle, and then it will quickly rotate up to where we needed it, and then we'll have our video transition through. And what you'll see is that instead of being a straight line, we're sort of ending up going through some of these buildings. So how we control that is we can enter into a new view here. So these are basically views that show you the path of the camera as sort of like a line. So what we can do is we can see how the camera moves along here. We can scroll in and we've got the map overlaid here. We might want to sort of say about here. Once we come down, we want this to be more in line with the shrine. So what we can do is add a new keyframe here, and also we have this sort of issue over here, so we can scroll that forward to about here. Maybe a bit further even, and then hit a new set of keyframes. And now what we have is these little points which we can grab, and it's sort of like an Illustrator node where you can sort of grab it and move it around, and you've got the little anchors here that control the angle of the curve. So you can just make that a little bit straighter, fly right through that point there, and then we've got this one, and we can just align that with Swanston Street, and now we should be going straight down the street. And we can even move this one so we go all the way through these buildings and we end up on the other side over here somewhere. And now we can go back to the camera view, and we can hit play, and you can see we're coming down, looking all the way down, then we flip up and we come back here and we shoot through. Yes, that's pretty cool. We might want to move some of these points back a little bit. It was just a bit abrupt. So yeah, let's have a look at that now. There we go, that looks a bit better. A bit smoother. We can even move it a bit further back, I think. There we go. And we've got this nice shot all the way through. Through Swanston Street. And we can play around with how we want this to flow, like we can move these ones forwards or backwards, so we spend a longer time on the fly in and shorter time on the fly through. See how that looks. Yes, we get this more zoomy effect. That's pretty nice. Cool. So once you've got the video set up as you want, you can just hit this red render button up here, and you can render as an image sequence and then combine them in like Adobe After Effects, or you can render in the cloud and you get a MP3 coming out, and yeah, you just hit submit, and it might take a few minutes to load up, but yeah, it's pretty quick, simple way to get some nice high quality graphics showing up with these videos that you can use in your projects. I hope that was helpful, and yeah, look forward to seeing some people try and use this. Thanks for watching.